So today I'm going to be introducing our 6 new themes that present the booking engine in a much more modern and updated way. Jumping into it, we will go into the reservation pages section in the website tab. Click into that and you get to the presentation theme section. Now we will see the 6 new themes. They default to modern default, which is kind of our standard theme that we'll be starting off accounts with, or new reservation pages. So let's take a look at that one. And here it is. So we can click search, select dates, and you see the rooms show up nicely. A little bit of a difference between this and our older themes is that initially everything's on one wider column and then narrows down into 2 columns once a room is selected. So here we can see that after I selected the room, the right side shows with a summary the contact information, payment box if it was turned on. And then on the left side, we can see the color changed a bit in order to make it obvious which room was selected. And the calendar search mode, of course, works nicely as well, which is where users select availability by clicking on dates and similar colors. Now, let's look back at some of the other themes that we have here by going back into the reservation page, clicking edit, and changing the theme. Let's go take a quick look at the warm hospitality theme. This one probably works very nicely for bed and breakfasts, boutique inns. Has kind of a warmer feel. Again, it starts on wide screens here, 1 column, and then narrows down as we select our available units, available rooms. And calendar mode also looks about the same, but of course the warm theme. One thing I wanted to change back was see if our required field, yes, the required field colors have also been updated so that by default it will use this slate color on all of the themes, but that can be easily changed just by customizing the reservation form and changing the field color in that setting there. Okay, going back and looking at a couple more, I think nature outdoor, we have a campground demo, which we'll show in a second. So let's skip that and go straight to the sharp flat and open that one up. Refresh. Looks similar, but here things are sharp, which is what we mean by square. So a lot less or almost no rounded corners anywhere in this theme. It's just a little bit boxier by design. And this just all depends on what type of website you have as to which of these themes you want to work with. These can all be easily customized as well to further refine the colors and the look and feel to match your website. Just selecting a few more dates at a time. As you can see now it says price per night, makes that real nice and clear, and goes back down. Now let me demonstrate what it looks like on a smaller narrow screen such as a mobile phone. If we drag this and just make the whole page narrower, we can approximate what it would look like on a phone. So everything goes into one stacked column, really clean and nicely laid out. Click reserve, changes colors, and then drops down to the reservation summary section, where the rest of the form can be filled out. Calendar search mode works somewhat similar. This is horizontally scrollable, the availability calendar, and select the units. Okay, going back to the full screen mode, let's go back and look at a couple of the other themes. We had sharp flat. The last one, well, we have 2 more. Next is minimal editorial. So this is a real minimalist theme. We've removed a lot of the borders. Colors are flat. There's not really any drop shadows. And all pretty much just clean as with all of these themes, the best way to decide which one to use is just try them out and then select what you personally like best or what works best with your website. And finally, we're going to look at the accessible theme, which is the high contrast accessible theme. And we'll refresh. And this one, maybe I forgot to save it. I don't think it's, oh, I put it on the wrong spot. Okay, here we go. Save it again and refresh. And here we've added some darker borders. It's a lot more black and white and just contrast colors that contrast better. So if you're concerned about people with limited color capabilities, you might want to consider this theme. It's also just a good example of how the theme can be further extended and changed. And let's go back. And now I believe we also had an example in this account of a fully, highly customized theme. So this theme here, we customized for this account. So if we refresh it fully, and now we'll see that it's much more looking a lot closer to what their website looks like. We basically took a screenshot of the website, pulled off a lot of the colors, the font, the spacing, and then redesigned or reframed this default modern theme to match the colors of the website. I believe I have one more custom theme pulled up here, which I can also show how it can be nicely customized based on a website. If we actually go into the themes, we can load any of the themes that we've built here. So, and customize it even further. So let's just to show how that works, I'm going to load this nature outdoor theme and then change a few things on it. So one is the page title we've set by default not to display, but sometimes you might want to display the page title. So you could change that to block. And then the page title would show. Let me just, okay, I've applied this custom theme to our page and there's the page title up there at the top. But if we set that back to none and refresh, the page title disappeared. The other block that's not used a lot of the time is the property block. It's useful if you want an overview photo and a description of your property, but a lot of times that's not necessary, so we might hide that. So in this case, we would change property block to none and click Save Changes, refresh, and now that property block is no longer there. One other little tweak we've made easy is to change the layout here. The size between these two columns, the photo column and the description column. So by default, we're doing 60% width on the photo and 40% width on the description. But that can easily be changed, such as 50-50, by just editing this layout toggle right in the theme. Now it's 50-50. If you'd prefer to have smaller photo but bigger description, just change that again, say 40-60, and refresh, and there it is. So that makes it really easy to change things like that. Okay, so let's go back to one of the other demos that we've pulled up here, which is, I believe, this page, Lakeview. Okay, this is our campground, exactly. So going into the campground, the property block is turned on, and this is important because this campground is using a map. So the map always shows in the property block, so that's important to have the that section showing. And that map is clickable, and you select a unit. As long as the unit is showing on the map, then it'll be clickable. And same idea, and we'll click reserve. And here we're using our outdoor theme, which works really nice for something like a campground. The nature outdoor themes, warmer, earthier greens and browns. And that works quite nice. Here on this account, we can see that the legacy themes continued to be available. That was something that will show on older accounts. Just for quick fun, we'll just refresh and just see what the difference is. So the 2018 one still doesn't look bad. It just looks a little bit different. But if you like that, it's of course perfectly acceptable to continue using that theme. Our more recent one that we were starting accounts off with was the Legacy White 3.0 theme. One reason we switched away from this is just because of the way the colors were kind of heavy and complicated. And that's why we're lighten things up quite a bit. And just for fun, let's see if we can look at one of our really older themes. We've already retired themes from much older. We had quite a few prior to these years, but one of our themes that's been popular over all these years has been this forest green theme. Some of the older themes had backgrounds by default on them, which we could still do. It's just that you don't see that as often. So we took that off completely. And this one is extremely heavy, extremely dark. So a lot of modern web design has been going away from the heaviness and into lighter colors. All right, finally, we had one more to show, which this was already the one up. So let's see. Okay, here we have another custom theme. This client, again, we took their website and then modified the colors to match the website. And this client's also interesting because we have the multiple rate plans, and so that looks quite nice as well. Underneath the photo and description, the guests can select which rate plan they want. And then it goes down, of course, to the two column view or one column on mobile. And that's kind of the idea with that. So now we've seen two completely custom themes. I don't think I'll go into it on this demo, but we also, of course, have different style reservation pages. So these themes should work quite nicely on the hotel style, the single unit page, and also the page which will search all of the single unit pages. So that is the overview of the new themes, and we encourage you to play around with it, try customizing them, try different themes, and of course, let us know if you have special requests or need help with customizing any of this further.